Hello everyone, it's very nice to be here. I want first of all to thank for organizers for invitation, especially dear Eva. And my topic of presentation is at the origins of the diplomacy of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Jeronim Makowiecki, one of the first diplomats in Sweden in the middle of the 16th century. So let's go. The professional diplomatic service in Europe began to take shape at the beginning of the early modern period. Around the same time, an independent system on envoys was being established in the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, hereinafter the GDL, and operated until the Union of Lublin. The GDL specialized in the eastern state, primarily in the Grand Duchy of Moscow, where Lithuanians envoys also represented Poland, due to a personal union. The issue of the Eastern envoys was discussed in detail by Egidijus Banionis. Here you have seen his book. However, the embassy service of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania did not develop into a separate state institution, and the number of diplomats who represented Lithuania to West Europe was small, and little is known about them. In this presentation, I will talk about the Polish nobleman and diplomat Jeronim Makowiecki. He died in 1583, who played an important role in developing relations between the GDL and Sweden, and was one of the first known Lithuanian diplomats in this country. The main question that I want to talk about is what factors determined the appointment of a Polish nobleman as the highest level envoy, acting on behalf of the ruler Sigismund Augustus and the Chancellor of Lithuania. I have to say that geopolitical situation in the Baltic Sea region changed in the middle of the 16th century. On various levels, the conflict that arose over Livonia involved many European countries: Moscow, the Scandinavian countries, the Duchy of Prussia, and the Holy Roman Empire as well. In 1552, Sigismund Augustus decided to engage in a policy of Dominium Maris Baltici as well. In that light, Sweden became very important to Lithuania and was seen as an ally in the fight against Moscow. Lithuania sought to conclude a treaty with Gustav Vasa against Ivan IV. In this context, one of the first diplomats representing the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, Makowiecki, was sent to Sweden in 1554. But this was not the first his diplomatic mission. At least 6 of Makowiecki's diplomatic missions to European courts are known. In 1574, King Henry of Valois gave him a document in which he emphasized that during the reign of Sigismund Augustus, Makowiecki had been sent to the rulers of Denmark, Sweden, England, and the Princes of Germany. All of them were missions of the highest level. Firstly, the envoy represented the ruler, had his letters of authorization, and in addition, he was sent by the Chancellor of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania and had his documents certified by the Grand Seal of the Grand Duchy. let's see about his missions to Europe. Here we can see to which countries Makovetsky went and when did it happen. First, in 1552, his mission to Frederick III, Elector Palatine of the Rhine. He had negotiations on the marriage of Sigismund Augustus to the sister of the Duke of Bavaria. But the mission ended without any results. The next mission was mission to England, to London, to Queen Mary I. He had to congratulate Queen Mary I on her accession to the throne. Mission of the highest caliber as well, with Sigismund Augustus' credential letters and Catherine of Habsburg letter of congratulation, issued in Knichen in 1553. The third mission was Makovetsky was sent to Gdansk in 1556, mission also of highest level, and he was sent to borrow money, even 50,000 florins for preparations of war. Then we have about 3 to 4 missions to Sweden in 1554 and 1562. The first, his mission to Sweden, was late 1554, early 1555. Mission to Stockholm, he went through Denmark. In March of 1555, on behalf of the Polish king, he proposed to Gustav Vasa an alliance with Poland and Lithuania against Moscow. Also, such plan was beneficial to Sweden, but it did not initially receive any support. Another his mission, late in 1556, the highest level mission to Stockholm, on Moscow affairs and getting a loan. At that time, Lithuania was preparing for war. One of the most important issues was about, of course, money. Sigismund Augustus instructed Radziwiłł, the chancellor of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, Radziwiłł the Black, to send Makovetsky to Stockholm in order to ask the king Gustav Vasa for a loan. Radziwiłł had to instruct him to borrow as much as they can. Now we have seen Makovetsky's implied missions to Sweden in 1558 and 1562. In 1558, Radziwiłł the Black issued a project of royal marriage between prince from Vasa dynasty and one of the Jagiellonians. The royal marriage between John III and Catherine Jagiellon took place in Vilnius in 1562. It can be assumed that Makovetsky actively participated in the negotiations for the marriage. This is evidenced by a document dated on the 5th of October 1562, drawn up in Vilnius. Catherine Jagiellon renounced her inheritance rights to the Jagiellonian estates in favor of Sigismund Augustus. The document was certified by Makovetsky as a public notary. And here we see this document. Makovetsky also drew his own notarial stamp with inscription Virtute Duce Fortuna Comite, with virtue as guide and fortuna as companion. Here we see this sign. Let's move now on the diplomat's biography. Despite his merits in developing relations between those countries, Lithuania and Sweden, this figure is very poorly reflected in historiography. The new sources I have found have made it possible to add considerably to Makovetsky's biography and reveal the mechanism of access to the elite structures of the time. First of all, about his origin. He was a son of Hieronym Makovetsky, coat of arms Pomian, who died in 1546, a Polish judge from Brześć-Kujawski, now Włocławek. His father was a noble of moderate wealth, worked as a clerk, and understood the benefits of science. Because of that, his son, Hieronym Makovetsky, with the same name, in 1546 matriculated at University of Leipzig, and the following year he studied at University of Frankfurt and Rode. Here we can see his coat of arms. It is not known exactly when diplomat arrived to Lithuania. One thing is certain. His life path was connected with Jan Seniavsky, a co-chair of the Queen Barbara Radziwiłłówna. Seniavsky has lands in Liachva estate, Novogrudok Povet. Barbara received Liachva as a dowry from her first husband, Stanislav Gashtold. Seniavsky and his wife Aliona Skorutenka had a very high level of trust in Barbara. In return for his loyalty, Seniavsky received from Barbara Radziwiłłówna Zabrykovština manor near Liachva and a lot of people to another of his estate, Kernožice. The Seniavsky family had 3 daughters. Zofia became the wife of Albrecht Kavečinsky, Barbara became the wife of Matthias Kavečinsky, and Anna, who died in 1579, was married to diplomat Makovetsky. All 3 of Seniavsky's sons-in-law were clients of Radziwiłł the Black. And here we can see the scheme of Makovetsky's relations with the court and his patron Radziwiłł the Black. The diplomat second time married Dorota Kosovna, with whom he had no children. Before 1551, Makovetsky became the client of Radziwiłł the Black. It was, as it was mentioned before, the voivode of Vilnius Radziwiłł sent him on his first diplomatic mission in 1552. His diplomatic career lasted for a decade. After 1563, all his diplomatic missions were finished, and he stayed serving Radziwiłł the Black, only to his patron. In 1563, Radziwiłł appointed Makovetsky as the governor of his most important estate at that time, Kletsk. Here on the left you have to see Kletsk estate and this Makovetsky's sign. In July 1563, the nobleman Radziwiłł the Black entrusted him with the escort of Radziwiłł's son Mykolai Krzysztof the Orphan and 12 other people to the nobleman's studies abroad at the Jean Sturm Gymnasium in Strasbourg. Makovetsky brought, after having settled the young prince in Strasbourg, Makovetsky brought Radziwiłł information about his son's education, living conditions, and expenses. He also brought the curriculum of the gymnasium, and Radziwiłł, undoubtedly after consulting with Makovetsky, assessed it is a difficult but good, was pleased with his son's achievements in Latin. It is interesting to note that in letter to his son, Radziwiłł wrote reminded him not to forget your native language, in meaning Polish language, so that when you return you will not speak like Pavel Balviež, because your brothers and sisters will laugh at you. After the death of Radziwiłł the Black, Makowiecki remained in the service of his son the Orphan and continued to be a client of Radziwiłł the Red. So he served two Radziwiłłs at the same time. For example, in 1577, with the Red's advice, he handled the wedding of the Polish Vice-Chancellor Jan Zamoyski and the Orphan's sister Krystyna Radziwiłł. In 1581, through the Orphan's intercession, he was exempted from the kapścizna, or drink, tax, and so on. What we can say about his estates or possessions? Makowiecki became a wealthy nobleman. His first wife brought him patrimonial estates near Lechva. He received several estates in the Novogrudek powiat from the Radziwiłłs, Bekepuri, Seneżyce, Zadźwieje, Wysoki, and so on. For a loan he managed the Radziwiłł lands near Klets Castle. Makowiecki was the owner of a house in Vilnius. He established his residence in the Nacha estate, where he founded even a church. So, diplomat made a career through the intersection of his patrons. In 1574, Henry of Valois gave him the position of royal secretary. In 1579, he became a central official of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, the Marshal of the Court, Marszałek Gospodarski. Some words about his religious views. His patron, Radziwiłł the Black, was the leader of the evangelicals in Lithuania. In 1563, Makowiecki delivered one of the first Protestants, Simon Budny, letter to the authority of the Helvetic Church, Heinrich Bullinger. The diplomat's brothers-in-law, the Kaviaczynski, Maciej Kaviaczynski is in his publishing house in Nesvyžius published evangelical works in the Ruthenian language. They were evangelicals. Therefore, there are a number of factors indicating that Makowiecki could have been an evangelical, but in the second half of his life he returned to Catholicism. In his will he asked to be buried at the Nesvyž or Nacha Catholic churches. And death. In February 1582, he got a cold. Although Radziwiłł the Orphan sent him medicines, they did not help, and Makowiecki died on the 20th of September 1583 at his Nacha manor. Let's summarize. Hieronym Makowiecki's decision to serve the Radziwiłłs in Lithuania paid off. He could only become a client of the Radziwiłłs and to go to diplomatic missions because of his university education and connections at the ruler's court. Having chosen Lithuania and as his new homeland, he made a considerable career. He became a central official of the state and significantly increased his wealth. It can be assumed that he would hardly have made such a career in Poland. In conclusion of this presentation, I would like to announce about the newest discovery in Lithuania related to Barbara Radziwiłłovna. Just over a month ago, royal insignia hidden in 1939 were discovered in the basements of Vilnius Cathedral Church. These are here Here you can see royal insignia of Barbara Radziwiłł, but there were found insignia of King Alexander Jagiellon and two queens, Barbara and Elizabeth of Habsburg. So here Barbara's insignia, very, very important discovery. So thanks for your attention.